Hey, 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 everybody. It's Lynn Schussler-Williams,
Brooke Haynes.
and we are here for Frequency 500. All right. So I tell you, Brooke, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about something we are going to hash through from a Frequency 500 perspective today. And that is they all fall under a category, but it's things like New Year's resolutions, vision boards, words for the year, like all the things. It's that time of year where it just seems to be contagious that people are talking about what am I going to create for next year? What do I want to be different? What is the thing, right? How do I what am I going to declare as my intention? Like whatever version of that somebody might do, it's really all under the umbrella of like, what am I going to create or manifest for the coming year, right?
Right. Yes. And I remember, Lynn, we've hosted what to do with those things once you create them. And I think this conversation is the next level of that even.
Absolutely. I just got in one of my photo memories from 2 or 3 years ago. You and I did a workshop about if you set your word for the year, how to not just let it be a word for the year, what to do with it,
Yeah.
going forward. And so, yes, I see this totally as a next level part of that conversation. Because I also hear people and I see a lot of ads from the coaching industry in my social media feeds because, that's who I am and those are my people kind of thing. But I see so many coaches doing the selling to the pain thing where they say, have you set a New Year's resolution before and it didn't come, by 3 weeks into January, you were done? Or have you set a word for the year and then, by March, you didn't know what your word was? Have you done a vision board and 2 years later found it collecting dust and didn't remember what was on it? Like all that talking to the pain of it not working, kind of selling. I
Yep.
just see so much of that this year. And there's something about the frequency of that, of
I
even
was
just the concept of selling to the pain, right?
There is, and I was just in there thinking, oh, I remember writing all those.
Yes.
and
Yes.
how far have we come?
Right, exactly. And so, here at Frequency 500, we're on a mission to create a movement of people who want to live at the frequency of love 500 or above, right? And the reason for that, and I just want to reiterate this because we haven't maybe said it in a while, is because when Dr. David Hawkins created the map of consciousness, what he said about frequency 500 was that one person at calibrating at the frequency of 500 or above counterbalances 750,000 people at 200 or below. So reaching for this frequency of love or above, reaching for this higher frequency in all that we do is our gift to humanity in the world, right? It's how we counterbalance some of what's going on in the world that's hard to even talk about, right? And so as we are all at this threshold time of year, right now we're recording this one right before the new year, but the truth is we're always at a threshold of what do you want to create next. That could be any moment in your life, doesn't have to be the end of December, right? And so but as we are in this space where collectively so many of us are going, what'll my intention be? What'll my resolution be? What'll my word be? What'll my vision board have on it? All those things, right? When we are collectively all asking that question, if we can ask it in a way that's love or above, right? And isn't feeding into the pain of it doesn't work. That would be really lovely, wouldn't it?
100%. And what you were saying, this is going to sound like it's going to digress a little bit, but I think it's going to really impact our conversation and what we're trying to say today. That last night I was having a conversation with someone about, moving energy and like actually what it takes to move energy. And I've been talking about my word of the year, and I keep saying it's like flow. It's like the action that'd be like, what is that? It's like a
Yes.
laser. It's like and I've asked you, and we've almost just
Yes.
got it each time, but it wasn't quite it. And last night we were in a very deep conversation about energy and I'm sorry, about energy. And I said, what is that? All that you just described that makes the force happen. What is that? And we were talking about it's will, like willpower.
Mm.
And went on to say that about with the conversation led into when we're healing and when we decide and we make something happen, that takes willpower. It takes the frequency of love to be the strongest frequency to change things, to
Yes.
really change things in a healing way. And that was a very deep conversation. And now when I hear you talk, we're talking about frequency 500. That's what this whole mission is about.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
is the frequency of love, and that's what it takes to help change things, even though I don't buy into that everything needs to be changed. But if you're
Yeah.
healing or orchestrating something, that's definitely the frequency to tap into first.
Right. If you're intending to manifest something new or different, right?
Yes.
So, which is what all this New Year stuff is all about, right? You pick a word because that's what you want to manifest in the new year. You set a resolution because you want to do better in the new year at something than you've been doing before, or different at least, right? And you do a vision board because there are things you want to manifest that you haven't manifested yet. All of that is change, right? Life is change. There's the old saying that, the only constant in our lives and world is change. And so as human beings, it's natural for us to want to change and influence the change for our benefit, right? For the better. Absolutely natural. And of course, yes. For me, I love what you said about will and decide. So I've talked a lot about the power of decision and how the word decide, comes from the Latin root CIDE, like in homicide, insecticide, germicide, all the sides, they're about kill or cut away. And when you decide for one thing, you kill or cut away all the other possibilities. That's a powerful manifestation tool, and will goes with it. There's a I'm trying to remember what book. Might be Claude Bristol, the magic of believing, but it also might be William James, As a Man Thinketh. I can't remember which of those really old books this came from to me, but there's this idea too about will. There's a difference between the spiritual nature of will and willpower. Like willpower is just a mental activity. This energetic will is more about
Like personal will.
yes.
Like personal will, like, and nothing else can.
Yes, it is what you say about it, that I've heard you say. I heard you say it earlier today about something, alignment, aligning with something. When you can align your will with the outcome you want and it just can flow, then you're in this space where everything gets easier, right? Because you're aligning your whole spiritual nature with it.
Yeah, and I call it lining up with, because
Yeah.
alignment is what it is. But being in the law of attraction world for so long, and I using alignment for so much, like I have to line up with it. For me, gives me the action and the power that I need to be in alignment, right? And
Yes,
and,
yes,
and it's
yes.
not something I can force. It's something I have to create from within. And that is what that leads us into these words of the year and the
Yeah.
vision boards. Like you have to really line up with these things. And sometimes
Right.
like, I remember when I was going to go to Amsterdam, like the first when I heard it talked about it, I was not lined up with it at all. I was like, well, that'll be fun for them. But then in the split second, when someone sent me a message, my whole body lined up with it. And that's when the world started shifting to make sure I got there.
Yeah. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, when you decide for something, the entire universe conspires to make it so. And that's what you just described.
Exactly what it felt like.
Yeah.
And and I have another trip that I really, really want to line up with, but I haven't felt that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
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 that's how you know it's not time yet.
yes. Or
Yeah.
I don't have the right perspective yet. The
Right.
perspective that's going to let me line up with it yet.
Right. And the other thing about this lining up with an idea or lining up with your word or the things on your vision board or your New Year's resolution or whatever, when you line up with it, when your whole body is a big yes, your body, your spirit, your mind, everything is like, yes, this looks like ease and grace going forward, right?
Mhm.
Then it is not only is it easier, but you don't even have to give it any attention. And here's a great example of that. About 2 weeks ago, you said to me, maybe a week ago, you said to me, have you picked your word for next year yet? And I said, no, I hadn't even thought about it. And I don't have any idea what my word was last year. Like I've given this zero energy for 2023, except then I realized it was the wallpaper on my phone for 2023. And the wallpaper on my phone had my word on it. And it had kind of a statement around the word, not just the word. And when I reread that statement to you, you said, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how that is exactly what your year has been. Right. And
Yes.
that's an example of when you line up with it, you don't have to work hard at it. You don't even have to give it any, once you've lined up with it, just be unattached to it and let it go. And, there it is. Just
Yes.
like your Amsterdam trip, right? It was like,
And that's how I had a phrase. From what I can remember, at least since 2017, or really 2015, because I remember those words. I can remember every word from 2015.
I know it cracks me up when you like go, here's my list. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And
I
this
have no idea. You
2020,
remember some of mine better than I do.
I did because I thought it was prosperity, because I thought I remember you saying prosperity means something so different to me now than what it would have used to have meant. So I thought that you picked your word, but it turned into the success and
Yeah.
then the saying. And so this year for me, it was more of me, more of me. Um,
And you got that.
it's more me actually, because it
More
started
me.
as more of me. And then that felt like I meant showing up, like more of me everywhere. So it switched to more
Oh,
me. And so it was more me in 2023. And see, for me, I'm going to publicly announce that if you know me and you know my word, you know how to get in all my stuff, right? You gotta know the
the
patterns, but
rest.
that's right. But anyway, and so because I do that so I can consistently type it all the time. Every time I'm doing something, I'm typing that word. And
Yeah.
it was this phase. And let me tell you, this year, I have never, like, I know every year there's growth, and I've felt this year. I can look back and I have evidence, and I have this solitude, this knowingness that I am more me in this most raw, delicious, pure form, in this wise form too. Like that's the
Yes.
difference of raw, it's opposite almost, but and than I have ever been. And it took this whole year. It took
And
me
you
a
made,
lot.
I have evidence. I could go down your year and point to evidence all year long of how you made choices that resulted in your own self-care, your own, alignment with your authentic self. You're like over and over and over. Like I totally agree with that and see it for you and in you and through you and all that. And so when we're talking about having a frequency around your intentions, right? Because that's what all of these are, right?
Yes.
Our intentions. When we're talking about having a frequency around our intentions that helps us to create what our will is for, we can't help. It reminds me of that old Howard Thurman quote about don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and do that, because what the world needs is more people who've come alive. What we're saying is exactly that. Don't ask how to make the world vibrate at love or above or live in the frequency of love or above. Ask how you are being love or above and do that, because what the world needs is more people who do that. That's exactly what this is all about.
And I think, Lynn, and he said that decades ago, right? And then it was like,
yes.
I think now we're getting into a place where we're going to be, that's what we're going to understand. That's our new understanding. That's our new how we show up, is that because we're coming going to come out, we're coming out of this information where we're just, informing giving the quotes and saying the things and learning the concepts and learning the theories and saying we're these ways. But the integration of it all is really what's happening now. So once we start integrating, we realize it only matters if I do it. Doesn't and why do we want the whole world to do it? That's because we want it for ourselves. So we have to have it for ourselves first.
Right.
And then it's like, it's not even effort after that. You'll see it show up everywhere in life. You'll see more people being that way without any effort, right?
Right. Absolutely. It's in part that reticular activating system and yellow Volkswagen syndrome and whatever you want to call that, about your programming your brain to show you more of what you're giving your attention and your awareness to, right?
100%.
It's that too.
Which is why I love a word of the year, because and usually it's spawned off what's really on the tip of what's next for me, or it's something that just happened and I want to ground it in really well, and one of my favorite ones was Rock 2020. And let me tell you, did I not ever rock 2020? And it was fun, right? It wasn't like these deep words. It was like, no, I'm going to rock 2020. And by God, I did. Yeah. And this year, that's where I have been shifting so much in the last 6 months, and even an exponentially amount, like it's amplified so much in the last 3 months that I'm like, okay, so what is this what's happening with me, and what am I going to ground in? And it's interesting because the first thing I was thinking was open doors in 2024, and I thought, no. My doors don't, I'm always open to open doors, but I don't need more open doors. My foundation is there. Yeah. I have a strong foundation. I will always be open and receptive to opportunity, but I don't have to go looking for it. Because let me tell you, I've got plenty in this foundation that I've already laid. And so I knew that wasn't the word. I knew that wasn't the phrase. And so and it kept coming to me, but I've been really working with these words, because the biggest thing I'm learning now is how, and I know this is, I almost hesitate to say it because it's something that I've probably been saying for years, and I'm just now really understanding the power in it, is that it is that the power is in the presence, and it's because of, you have to add in that will. It's not just about meditating. It's meditating and then with the will, right? And that's what I have been looking for. In my lovely, beautiful journey with law of attraction, I think it's the one thing that was missing, is that I looked up and I felt like I didn't have that tiger inside. I wanted that I was in flow, which served me. I was in doing all these things that served me, but it got to a point where they were also hindering me, some of the thoughts, because I didn't allow that to be coupled with, I didn't know how to couple that with this will that I'm going to say, you're going to hear me say it a lot now because that's the word I've been looking for, right? That's the word I've been looking for. And it is because I know that when I'm in the present and when I stop, even with the animals, the cat and the dog, when I put everything away, I can let them get along, right? I'm just
Yes, yes,
watching. And then they know I'm present, and then they're present, they're friendly. But
right.
they know as soon as I have my mind on something else, they're off, right? They're gonna do their thing. Cat's gonna run, he's gonna run, they're gonna knock stuff over, everything's gonna happen. Same with walking out the door. My dog's gonna bum rush me when I walk out the door unless I'm fully present. But if I'm thinking about, because I walk out the
Yeah,
door with a big bottle of water, a Coke, all this stuff. And as soon as I have all that in my hands, it's hard to think about all that and something else,
yeah,
especially if I have a very willful dog. So I've learned to put it away and just stare at him and say, and just wait. And he will. And those are
that's
just
beautiful.
everyday examples of what I'm talking about. Um, but really I'm talking about creating my whole future like this. Like
Yeah,
that's why I
yeah,
wanted it to be my message. I
yeah.
want to we are deliberate creators. And I want to be very intentional with how I create the next year of my life. I mean, really ever, but this is like my test run. Let me do this for a year. Let me do
Yeah.
this for 90 days. Let me do this for a year, right?
Let me do it this week, today.
Yes, right. And I came out recently saying, okay, for 30 days, and then I changed it to 90 because it was going so well. I am not going to allow myself to say, I'm not clear. I am clear. Now, I may not be clear about something, but there's something I am clear about it. And that's what I'm going to focus on. I am clear. When I sit down at my computer, I don't know what to do first. Nope, not allowed to say that anymore. I know what to do first, and I go pick it. And for
Wow.
30 days, I just wanted to not allow myself to say, I'm not clear. I'm not
Just
sure.
be clear.
Just be clear. And that takes,
Use the will, the
yes,
power of decision. In my 9 little words, step 3 is no matter what, right?
yes, that's
That's
the
the
will.
last 3 words. And they are about engaging our mental faculty of decision, which is what that will is all about, deciding for, as we were talking about, and faith. And I don't mean religious faith, I mean the willingness to believe in a result you can't see yet, to act on a result you can't see yet,
And
right?
nothing else is more important. That's your
Right,
will.
right. And that's what no matter what is all about,
That's
right?
beautiful.
And so when that's the other thing I would say. I've talked to so many people about using the 9 little words with their whatever their resolutions are, right? So say somebody says, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year or in the first 6 months of this year, or whatever, right? They might say, up until now, I've not been exercising, or up until now, I haven't done the things I need to do to lose weight, or whatever their story is. That's the first phrase of 9 little words. The second is, I am willing, right? And somebody way smarter than me said, whatever you put after the words I am, you become. So willing, becoming willing is a really important thing to do, right? And so what are you willing to do? You just said, I'm willing for 90 days not to say that I'm not clear or I don't know, to just simply be the knowing and the doing of whatever's next. And then the last 3 words are committing to it, no matter what. That seals the deal with that will and that decision and that faith to believe in something you can't see yet. If that up until now was about losing 50 pounds, you can't wake up today and say, I'm going to do that today. That's what in the 4 disciplines of execution, Sean Covey and his bunch would call a lag measure. It lags behind the things you do today that are the lead measures, right? And so the lead measures have to be filled with lining up with that will, with lining up with the I am willing stuff, and then committing to it no matter what, over and over and over again, right?
I am willing opens the doors, and no matter what makes it done.
Right. And the thing, Brooke, I got to say this too, because for me, like I've been teaching that, the 9 little words for years, and that's a thinking tool. That's a conscious mind tool. And the thing that I keep coming up with this year, especially since I started doing the reset it process, is that people are not undermined so much by the conscious thoughts that get in the way of their New Year's resolution or get in the way of their not manifesting from their word of the year or their vision board. People are undermined in those processes because of the things embedded in their subconscious, their old programming, their old condition. Life has taught them over and over, oh, I can say I'm going to do this New Year's resolution, but I know damn well I'm not, because for many, many years, they've set one and it's never happened, because by the 3rd week of January, they're done, right? That's a conditioned response. And that gets embedded in our subconscious. And what I have been experiencing this year is the unraveling of that, which you can't think your way out of, right?
Mm-hmm.
If 9 little words would have gotten me out of my own way, it had done it years ago. But it wasn't until I learned to get at those things in my subconscious, using these principles of neuroscience and quantum physics, that I was able to release those things too. And that is about living in presence. That is about living fully present to my own authentic self and the quantum energy field and the flow between the two, without the filters of those things in our subconscious. And that to me is such, I have to say, that important difference, because it was the important difference for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you did say that. And I think that I don't even want to say anything else past that, because that was so important to hear. So coming back to our words and our vision boards, to be able to understand what's leading you, is it fun? Is it clear? Like, what is it that you're declaring you already have? Just like in Celebration Friday, what are you declaring 2024 you're going to show up as? And remembering, right? You're going to remember every single day what's going to lead you. And so you can embody, when you write it, type it, feel it, you can embody that, that feeling every time you see that word.
And choose things that have a frequency of love or above, that you can line up with, that have a frequency of love or above.
Yes.
So my word for 2024, Brooke, is presence.
Ooh, that's what it was for me for about 2 weeks. And I just changed it because it wasn't quite exactly. It was now then I changed it to power in the present, the power of presence. And I wrote that for a week because I like to play with it, because I'm really learning when I play with it and type it and say it, which one I'm totally lining up with for that. So I just moved from power of presence. Some of my passwords have already changed to that. To first was presence. Some are that. Okay. Then it was,
y'all just know Brooke's passwords are not just that. You have to know the code to the rest of it.
And you have to know the formula of how I write them all.
Right.
But,
we have not just announced all of Brooke's passwords. No.
Right. And the power of presence. And that was good. I thought it was it. And then last night, this will came out and I was like, yeah, it's short. And then I thought willpower, but that changes. And today on this call, you explained the difference, because one is like a spiritual mode and the other is a mental thing. And that is how I felt about it when added to willpower. And then I kept saying, well, is that just because of my own filter for the word willpower? But it just changed it when the power was added to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, beautiful. And that'll lead us. So, and it's going to be fun to know, to look back just as we did for our last year and say, I loved your idea, and say, and finish that sentence and say, how did I embrace this year? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it can be at the very last month in December when you're like, it's happened. Right.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to experience it. I sign up for that. I have, Brooke does things to keep the word in her intention or in her conscious mind. I do just the opposite, right? I do one thing with it. I stuck it on something that occasionally I see, but I see it so much I'd quit seeing it. I'd forgotten it was there. It was behind all the icons on my wallpaper on my phone, right? And so it's just, such a pure intention for me. I'm going to release it. And then next December, when Brooke asked me what my word was, we'll have some way to look it up. She'll have it on her list or whatever.
We'll have to go back to Frequency 500, episode 15.
That's right. There you go. There you go. Well, we want to just absolutely have some big gratitude for all our listeners. We want to say thank you for being willing to be part of our first year of Frequency 500. And, 2023 was the year we launched. And so we're glad you were here with us. We're glad you're here with us now. We hope you'll be with us in 2024. And, we are definitely holding the perfect thought of a frequency of love and above for all of the people whose lives Frequency 500 touches in any way, whether we ever know it or not.
Yes, beautifully said. Well said. Okay, I thank you, all of you all, and Lynn, you, and I'm
You too, Brooke.
Grateful for 2023, and I'm excited for 2024.
Here we go. Buckle up, people. It's going to be awesome.
Right.
Bye now.
Bye.